Hello everyone, welcome to Vegas Talent, the channel dedicated to promoting the independent film community here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Abby Ray, and today we have Yisrael Dubov. Welcome, Yisrael.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you introduce yourself and talk about how you got into acting?
Sure. I am an actor, originally from Orlando, Florida. Got my rabbi ordination a while back, and then shifted gears over to the performing arts. Have been acting since about 2015, and before that was doing a lot of film work overall behind the camera.
That's amazing. Do you believe that filmmakers should take acting classes?
In my personal experience as an actor, every time there was a director who really got it and was able to speak to me and the other actors on an understandable, relatable level, have all been directors that have worked in front of the camera.
Right.
If my memory serves me correctly, it was 10 out of 10. Like 100% of the time, all the actors that were able to communicate on that level have worked in front of the camera. And again, like I'm not an authority on the subject, but I think it would be a good idea for directors to work in front of the camera at least once, or to take an acting class just to understand. And even if they don't, like maybe they should have two directors on a movie set. You know, one to focus on the cinematography and the visual aspects, and one to work with the actors.
Right.
And really get the performance, their entire job just to be the performers. And maybe that's why actors who become directors do really well.
Yeah.
Because they have that, you know, Mel Gibson and Angelina Jolie and so many great actor directors that just do so well in that department.
Yeah, and you know they've been doing that forever too, and it's like, okay, that's how it works, you know.
Yeah.
You're not originally from here, right? You're from.
I originally from Florida.
Okay.
Lived in Los Angeles for the last for about 8 years, and I just moved here almost a year ago.
Well, welcome to Vegas.
Thank you. I love it here.
Yeah, we have great weather.
I'll tell you what, though. The dry heat of Las Vegas, or the desert heat, is so much better than the humidity heat of Florida. Even though it's not as hot, so Florida, you know, on an average summer day is maybe 80, 90, but it's so much worse than 100, 110 in dry heat, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I know we don't have mosquitoes here. I don't know.
We don't have mosquitoes here. We don't have a daily thunderstorm.
That's true. It's always it is good weather. I mean, I guess
you don't walk out of the house immediately needing a shower,
right? Because you're not sweaty and everything.
Just the humidity just gets you. You walk out of got to go back and take a shower now.
Right. Oh yeah, I lived in the Philippines, so tropics, same thing. In Los Angeles, you've done acting classes there. What's your favorite acting technique?
Oh, that is a good question. I feel like acting techniques are like puzzle pieces. Or each one is so valuable on its own, and then when you put them all together, you get like this beautiful picture. Obviously, I have my favorites, but I think it should be stated that I don't think that any acting technique negates any other one, or I don't think any acting technique is better than another one. It's just when you put them all together, like you have Chekhov is so good with character work, and Meisner is so good with that listening and responding, and Alexander work is so good with that movement, and you have Stella Adler work, which is so good with really understanding the character and the circumstances, and all these different things coming together really makes it what it is. Yeah.
Which one of those is your favorite? Which one of those do you use? You find yourself using personally?
I think for me, my personal favorite would be Meisner.
Okay.
One of the most common compliments I get from a director on set is, you respond so well to the other actors. Like you work off of the other people so well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I didn't train for years in Meisner for nothing. It's good. If I wasn't getting that compliment, I would be worried.
Right.
Because here I'm spending years learning how to listen and respond, and then it's not being applied to my work. So it obviously is working. But what I love about Meisner is that it's so fundamentally important.
Yeah.
Like if you have two actors in a scene and they're not working off of each other,
Yeah.
you really don't have a scene.
That's
Like,
true.
why are we using actors and
Right.
not CGI or AI? Like, why are we so stuck on using actors still when everything
Yeah.
else is automated? Because we have that emotional ability, that
connection.
emotional
Yeah,
connection
yeah.
that makes a scene worth watching.
Right.
Now, if you don't have the actors listening and responding to each other, then that's immediately taken out, and boom, all you have is two
Right,
robots
right.
talking.
That's true. And I think that's one of the biggest things that directors look for is the chemistry, right? They look at for, like, you have chemistry reads, you get, like, the audition, and then, you know, you get a call back, and then you get someone here, you know, talking, and they see if those people connect. So I think it is a very important thing.
I was talking to this one woman. We were talking about acting. She wanted to know about Meisner, and I asked her before I went into the whole depth. I asked her what do you understand acting to be, and she went through the classics: emotions, you know, circumstances, character work, and all that. And then towards the end, she said, "And then if the two characters are lucky enough to have a chemistry, then you have a scene." I said, lucky
yeah.
enough. See, that's something, there's work there.
Right.
You can make the characters have chemistry.
Right.
And I think the best way to do that is Meisner.
Right, right.
And while I don't knock the other techniques,
Yeah.
I just think it's such an important fundamental technique that I'm almost always going back to Meisner in any work I'm doing.
Yeah.
Some work I'm adding on Chekhov, some work I'm adding on
Right.
Stella Adler, some work I'm doing all these other techniques,
Yeah.
but at the base there's always that
Yeah. It's the
Meisner.
connection.
Yeah.
And that's a basic human thing is connection. You know, babies, they strive for connection. It's kind of like a thing that we're so used to seeing when on screen, when it's not happening, it's like something's wrong, you know? So are there any like Meisner games or any exercises that we can do right now?
The way that Meisner used to create this connection was through an exercise that he called repetition.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I feel that it gets so lost in translation.
Right.
And the reason why, this is a theory of mine, I don't know if this is true, but I think you won't find online anywhere the technique displayed properly in its fullest
Right.
form.
Yeah.
And I think even if you go to the original masterclass DVD, which is of Sanford Meisner himself during his class, you still won't see it represented properly.
Yeah.
And I watched that DVD before I trained in Meisner and after I trained in Meisner. And I think, and this is my theory, I think it's because you can't post that kind of thing. Like
Right.
what happens in the Meisner classes is so raw and
Yeah.
vulnerable and emotional and real that you can't post it anywhere. Like we were told in class, you don't share what goes on in
Right,
class
right. Yeah.
because of how deep it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you'll never see the technique displayed properly online. And I think that's also why why a lot of the times the technique gets perverted and
Right.
skewed and mistranslated
Yeah.
and misunderstood. Because what people end up doing is, Meisner repetition is dumb. All it is, black shirt, black shirt, black shirt,
Yeah.
black shirt. What's that doing for me? Nothing.
Right.
But it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
So as much as I would love to do an exercise with you of repetition, I fear that it's going to have a bad conception of it because
Right.
it looks so simple on
Yeah.
the surface. But here's what I think I can do.
Okay.
Because Meisner is so much about the listening and responding, text really doesn't matter. Now, this isn't to knock writers.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
writer's
yeah,
job
yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
But the actor's job is not to be the writer. The actor's job is to bring the emotion
Right.
to the scene. And so I came up with an exercise just to demonstrate what Meisner might look like with listening and responding.
Okay.
Do you happen to have like a
What do you need?
paper or a clipboard,
Paper
a marker?
clipboard. I actually happen to have paper
Two is
clipboard.
great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're each going to write our own line of dialogue.
Okay.
It could be whatever you want, something vague. I mean, don't make it so specific.
Okay.
Like, Charlie, don't take out that coat from the fridge. Put
Okay.
that
So
back.
something simple.
Simple,
Okay.
short, open. And I just want
Can
to...
it be a question?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
It can be a question.
Okay.
And then we're each going to write our own, and then we'll see how
All
they
right.
match up with each other using the idea or the this concept of listening and responding.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. And now, obviously, so think of any emotion you want to display. Obviously, like I'm not going to make you go full 100%, which is what Meisner would want.
Okay.
A 100% commitment, completely full. We're not going to go there today, just for time and all that. But think of an emotion, indicate whatever, and then whenever you're ready.
Now I kind of want to change my answer. All right. Let's try it. Am I gonna show?
We can show what we wrote down afterwards.
All right, this is like Mad Libs or something. Did you take the trash out?
You're a monster.
Do you just keep doing it?
No, that was
okay.
The point of that was the audience is going to see what that might have seemed planned,
right?
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
We just wrote down a line. I didn't know your line. You didn't know my line. And then we were just listening and responding, working off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can even do it again. Let's say I start with a completely different emotion. I can go, you're a monster.
Did you take the trash out?
So it works.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it doesn't matter what the text is. You're working off me and I'm working off you.
Okay.
And that's the basis for the Meisner technique. Just to... That's what I got.
Did you take the trash out?
Yeah. The way that Meisner would train that listening and responding is through repetition.
Right. So did we do that right? How was that?
No, it was great. Because the point is, actors will very often get lost in what the text is, rather than listening to what the other person is saying to you. Listening
and reacting, and it doesn't matter what it is, as long as they're...
It matters. So again, that's what we have all of that work, like rehearsals and what the director wants, and we have all those things to make sure that you're not going too far off the path. Yeah. But in the moment, if you're doing the work properly, at the end of the day, the other actor matters most.
Right.
The other actor matters more than anything else in the world. And whatever, if the other actor goes, let's say you're in a play, and the other actor but accidentally starts talking words, dialogue from a completely different play that you're in. They have a moment that they just get a brain aneurysm, I don't know. They start talking from a different play. Yeah. The Meisner actor responds to that.
Right.
And doesn't get fazed by it either.
Right, that's true. So, speaking of Meisner, you're going to start doing Meisner classes?
I have the pleasure of coming on board with the Bright Star Academy to teach a little bit the Vegas actors about the Meisner Technique. Yes, and I'm not an authority on the subject. I mean, there's plenty of people who know more than I do out in the world. Like you have Martin Barter, you have my teacher, Ranjiv Pereira, you have Anthony Mindell, you have Jim Jarrett, all these giants in the Meisner acting world. Unfortunately, we don't have any here in Las Vegas. So I think I understand the Meisner Technique more than most people, or a lot of people, and I think I could definitely have what's necessary to teach the Meisner Technique here in Las Vegas and with the Bright Star Academy. We're looking to start classes at the end of 2022.
So we'll keep an eye out on that. Check out our website, www.brightstaractingacademy.com, and you'll see we have a list of acting teachers and all their classes, and you'll be able to see Israel's page on there, and you'll have all your information and all the dates and everything on there. Any upcoming films or projects that you have going on?
Yes, very grateful that I'm in 2 live theater shows that are happening in October. One is a Jack the Ripper musical, which sounds incredibly fun to me. I love doing period pieces and I love doing musicals, so get to do that. And then another period piece called La Llorona. It is a Spanish period piece.
That's interesting.
Like a Spanish horror.
Ooh.
Theater, yeah. That's going to be fun, also in the end of October.
Okay.
And currently working on 2 short films.
Cool.
1 period short film. A lot of periods going on in my life right now. 1 period short film, medieval times.
Nice.
That one's called The Penitent Man. The newest one that I'm working on is a psychological thriller called Stuck.
Oof, that's interesting.
Sleep paralysis and insomnia.
That's interesting. Awesome. So where can we find you? Can we find you on social media? Do you have a website?
Yisrael Dubov on social media and YouTube. It's all just First name and last name.
That's all you need, right?
I have a very unique name, so it should be easy to find me.
Israel with a Y.
Israel with a Y.
Yep. For more information, you can go to our website, www.brightstaractingacademy.com. You'll also find links to our teachers. You'll find all our classes on there, all of their schedules and everything. All the information's in there. We can also go to our website at abbyraystudios.com, and we also do a lot of services for the actors and pretty much a one-stop place. Thank you so much for being our first guest on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And we would want to thank you for watching Vegas Talent, and we'll see you next time.